Hey everyone, so today we are gathered here to understand how the Marico recruitment process works. We have three very esteemed individuals from the CA cohort who have joined Marico in the month of May 2021. To begin with their introductions, we have Manan Pujara. He secured AAR 37 in CA final 2000, November 2020. He's currently pursuing his MCom in Advanced Accounting from HR College, Mumbai, and has done his articleship from Incorp Advisory in Mumbai. Manan, thank you for being here today.
Thank
Secondly,
you,
we have
Anirudh, for inviting me.
Shubham Keswani. Shubham, as we all know, is a pretty famous YouTuber as well. Shubham has done his graduation from SRCC in Delhi. He has secured AAR 8 in CA final November 2020 attempt and also AAR 29 in IPCC. Along with this, he's done his articleship from SR Butley Boy and EY Network from the NCR region. Thank you, Shubham, for taking out time today.
Thank you, Anirudh, for inviting me.
Thirdly, we have Rushabh Shah. Rushabh has secured AAR 31 in CA final November 2020 attempt. He is currently pursuing his postgraduate diploma in business management from NMIMS. He has also done his articleship from SR Butley Boy and EY Network from the Mumbai region. Thank you, Rushabh, for taking out time today. To jump right into the agenda, let us probably understand, Rushabh, if you can tell us how did you apply to Marico to begin with? What was the process?
So the hiring process of Marico, I think it has remained same right from 3 to 4 years, last 3 to 4 years. They have a tie-up with a third-party placement agency known as Venom Placements, who who collect or prepare a group of WhatsApp group having the rankers, collating entire group of rankers, and after that they just give out the details of hiring process of Marico, the expected CTC, the job perspectives, and they have the Ignite management trainee function. And after that, they just collect who are interested, and then they proceed with the application form of Marico.
Shubham, can you tell us what do we mean by Ignite Marico, or what is this finance management trainee role itself?
So Ignite, as the word suggests, that when we are doing something, everyone says that ignite the fire within. So basically, that's the point. When you are actually preparing for a leadership role, it's very important for you to understand how the business works on the ground level. And again, being in finance function, as we all have done chartered accountancy course, we are generally understanding it from the point of accounting only. But here, the program is all about giving you exposure to different domains of finance in this period of 6 months. Talking about that again, this is a dynamic program which is not limiting your learnings to one aspect of finance. It will give you exposure about different aspects. So yeah, this is all about it. Yeah.
Moving ahead, Manan, can we understand the prerequisites? Probably is it required to have a rank at final level to be able to apply for Marico itself? Is that a prerequisite?
Okay, so this year, interestingly, Marico had also accepted the CVs of CA final students who didn't get a rank. But the prerequisite was that if you don't have a rank, then you should have pursued an articleship from a Big Four. So first, the prerequisite was if you have a rank, then your CVs were accepted. And the second prerequisite was if not a rank, then you should have pursued your articleship from a Big Four. Then they would accept your CVs.
Understood. So what we understand is if you either have a rank and an articleship from anywhere, or you don't have a rank and an articleship from any of the Big Fours. That's the recruitment, probably the criteria to get shortlisted.
Correct. So this year, total 225 applicants were accepted. So we were around 190 rankers. So you can see a good chunk of 30 non-rankers were also taken for the shortlisting process.
And how many people probably got into the final cohort itself for the Ignite program?
So
do we have any data about that?
So finally, 4 of us got selected for the Ignite program.
So we possibly understand how difficult it is from probably 4 people out of 225 applicants. So it's a very, very difficult program to probably get into, I'd say. So kudos again to all 3 of you for cracking that. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Moving ahead, I'd probably like to understand the recruitment process itself. So starting off with Rushabh, is there something specific that you did to prepare for Marico's interview rounds? And can you possibly tell us briefly the different rounds involved as well?
Okay, so first I'll start with the rounds. So they were accepting for the company application form in which we were required to put in the details of the CV itself in that format. Second, it was a test, a kind of test in which they were, testing the reasoning skills, logical skills, some applied mathematiology, and after that they were. After that, it was, I think it was a group discussion, right, Manan? After
Yeah.
that, we were
So-
having some group discussion.
Agreed.
So
So third was group discussion. Fourth was that psychoanalysis test, psychoanalytics. After that, level 1 interview, which was a kind of technical one. Then level 2 interview, it was a stress interview. To be honest, it was a kind of a stress interview itself. And after that, seventh round was CF round. So these were the broad rounds. So counting it 7. I think it was a longest procedure. Okay. So coming with company application form, I believe right from the start, what I was keen to understand and what I understood from the past Mariconians was that you should be utmost careful while giving out any data you give. Okay. So in that company application form, although they were asking some 5 personal questions as to what are your aims or objectives, what are long-term goals or something, I made sure that I write some long-term goals which are somewhere aligning to the goal of the Marico itself. So visions or the missions of the Marico itself, which helps them to understand that yes, this is the type of personality which suits the Marico and the Marico suits for them. So what I made understand each and every level was to that somehow I make myself belong to the Marico. So that's how I aced them and kind of impressed the interviewers or the panel or whoever was testing me.
Understood. Shubham, can you possibly tell us firstly what was your group discussion topic, and as Rishabh explained, right, the other rounds involved as well.
Yeah, so I'm glad, Anirudh, you asked me about the group discussion, because that's the best thing that I found about the whole process of Marico. Because unlike all other companies which ask regarding the current affairs topics, the hot topics which are a part of the daily discussion among the people, Marico took a different route. They actually gave us a case study to be discussed in that group of 8-10 people at that point of time. And again, that case study was related to the real business life kind of situation, wherein there are 3 aspects of an entity. There is a cost unit, there is a sales team, and then there is a marketing team. Everybody has different points of view to be made at that point of time. You have to take a decision. Like there is a competition which is following a different strategy, and again you have to counter that. You have to take a decision. And in that GD, it basically involved an application of the aspects that we study in our strategic cost management performance evaluation subject of CA final, because they had given us figures like PV ratio. We should increase our price, decrease our price. Even in the follow-up questions, basically point was when you are expressing your view, after 5-10 minutes, they are asking follow-up questions to make sure that whatever you are expressing, you have a definite thought process behind that. So that thing I really found that was very well structured on that part. And they actually made the follow-up questions on different aspects. Like they asked me the GST impact of certain schemes if they introduce as a part of that case study and all. So that I found to be very analytical to be on their part, to basically understand that whether the candidate, whatever he's saying, is genuine or not. Yeah.
Amazing. So it's probably not a consulting case interview type of a thing, but it's more about
Mm.
applications of what we learned in CA final itself and how well we've understood that in order to be applied,
Yeah.
to apply that in the case studies. So that is something that is very unique to Marico itself, because I don't think
Mm.
a lot of companies do that. Manan, can we
Yes.
understand your personal interview experience? Because, like Rushabh mentioned, you had about 7 rounds, of which 3 of them
Yes.
were interview rounds itself, right? How did you find
Yeah.
those rounds?
So mainly there were 2 interview rounds and one was a CFO discussion round. So in the last round, which was a CFO discussion round, there was a casual discussion with the CFO. He asked few technicals. He asked about the articleship experience. So that was a discussion kind of a thing. The main 2 interview rounds, if you ask me, so I personally think the interview was mainly divided into 4 parts. So the first part of the interview was based on your articleship and your CV. So ensure that whatever you write in your CV, you are 100% sure about it and you know in and out of it. So whatever is your work ex, what all strategies you have applied in the articleship, how you have helped your firm grow, then how you have handled the stressful situations, etc. So that was one part all about articleship. The second part of your interview will be based on technicals. So they might pick up few chapters or maybe few concepts of SFM or FR or maybe some another subject, and they would grill you on that. So that was the second round. The third part of the interview would be based on your HR questions. So what are your leadership skills? Tell us about your 2 strengths, 2 weaknesses. So these are the questions which we know. So we have to prepare for them. And the last part of the interview was, why Marico? So that question frequently comes, and then they grill you that if some other company pays you more or if some other company gives you a good role, then also why will you stay here? So as Rushabh mentioned, it was more of a grilling. If you say it was not more of a grilling, but yeah, it was a kind of an interview where they actually checked your confidence. They checked what you are speaking is what you are, and how confident you are in delivering what you are telling. So that was all about both the interview round. They were similar, more or less divided in these 4 parts.
Amazing. So it's possibly more about not beating around the bush, so that you actually portray who you are, your true characteristics, and you also are very confident in the interview. So it seems like all of your experiences had been very grilling and very nice to listen to as well. If I can move ahead and ask each one of you, why Marico specifically? Considering that it's largely a manufacturing FMCG company, right? And you as a finance management trainee, can each of you tell me in one line why you chose Marico and not something else? Starting with Rushabh.
I think right from my articleship, FMCG was something I was always keen to explore. Okay, and since my articleship was itself in the FMCG companies, FMCG sector. So after that itself, I decided that that's something FMCG industry as a whole is something I want to explore. And what best than some company like Marico, which is not just a trading but also manufacturing company.
Amazing. Shubham, what was your thought process behind Marico?
So as Rushabh said that FMCG, he had a fond for FMCG, and we all know the growth rate of FMCG companies. Like even during these uncertain times of Corona, they had a very good business at this point of time. So the risk associated with that portfolio is very less, and when you work with such kind of company, even your risk reduces. And ultimately, as I discussed in the beginning, talking about Ignite Management Trainee Program, I think we all are coming from our articleship experiences, and during that also we have learned that learning should not be limited. You should get learning of each and every aspect. So I was actually looking for a good management trainee role only after my completion of CA course. So Marico, I got an opportunity to be a part of. It was never thought of that I will get into this company only, or I will get this opportunity considering the competition we have at this point of time. But yeah, luckily all my efforts went in the right direction and I got this opportunity.
That's really inspiring to hear, because that you wanted to get into management trainee roles and you've actually landed one as well. So kudos for that. Manan, any reason why Marico?
Yeah, so as Rushabh and Shubham mentioned, I agree to them. And another reason could be the work culture of Marico. So the work culture is extremely good. It is even ranked by Economic Times that it is one of the best places to work for. So that was one reason. Second is innovation that it brings in its products. So currently they have introduced Saffola oodles, Saffola noodles. So all those healthy products that which they bring in. So they consider the health of people in mind. And the third thing is their motto is make a difference. So the company is not only focused on profits, but they also ensure that all of the stakeholders, be it employees, be it customers, or be it environment or anything, government, each and everyone is taken care of. So it was actually great to work in a company where we are getting a role of a management trainee, where we can explore all the domains. And secondly, a company which is actually value driven. So that's the reason why we all joined Marico.
Amazing. So moving forward, I'd probably like to understand what exit opportunities are you looking at? A lot of people probably do a 3 year stint at Marico and then move on to consulting. A lot of people stay on at Marico for years together, right? So Shubham, can you probably tell us what, if you have something in mind, what do you think are your exit opportunities after a management trainee role?
So, Anirudh, I think it's a good question because keeping in mind our long-term career, we should be sure about what's going to be there in the future. But frankly speaking, currently I don't have any thoughts regarding that. And I had been guided by a lot of my seniors who are holding good positions in big corporates. So what they have just guided me is that go with the flow. Keep on learning because this is the phase when you are going to learn a lot and build up on your career. And I feel that when you are associated with such kind of company, which is doing so well in its FMCG sector, and the people who are associated with the company are also growing at a good pace, uh, for me, looking out for other opportunities after 2 to 3 years down the line doesn't sound to be a practical approach for me right now. So yeah, I am just looking forward to learn more and more at this organization, and let's see what the future holds for me.
Amazing. Rishabh, what do you have anything in mind after say 2-3 years down the line?
No, I think the thought process, I believe right now would be same. Either it's me or Manan or Shubham or anyone. Because see, right now the thing is, we have just came out of this the hectic study process of the career entire of chartered accountant something. Okay, so and some getting something like a management training, which is entirely altogether new for us. So right now we'll just get enjoy the roller coaster we have for us, and probably after because the situation, the entire situation and circumstance so much changing because of this, let's say COVID or Corona thing or any other thing. So the thing is, the thought process changes year by year. So right now, even I'm not sure as to what the future holds for me, but I'll surely keep that thing in mind and kind of prepare myself as to how could I align my mind with what kind of goals and aspirations I am having.
Amazing. Manan, is there anything different from what Shubham and Rishabh have said about exit opportunities?
So, as Rushabh mentioned earlier, we used to tell that we should plan things, but now after this pandemic, we only don't know that whether our plan will work or no. So then instead of thinking for exit opportunities, I feel we should create opportunities within this organization to grow and learn. So that would be like, if we create opportunities within the organization, then that would be the best thing we could do.
So what I can possibly summarize from this is the fact that all of you are very excited to start off in the management trainee role. And all of us have gone past that hurdle and barrier of CA final. Now it's just to understand what the role entails, what it holds for you, and you will probably take a decision 2-3 years down the line. Perfect. To wrap up this very insightful session, I'd probably ask you about any last words of advice that you might have about Marico process and in general to all our viewers out there. If you can start with Rushabh for the same.
So if you are asking, particularly with respect to getting into Marico as a chartered accountant, so obviously I believe rank is something which is a prerequisite. You cannot kind of have a speculation that although I'm a Big Four, maybe Marico will give me a chance in next attempt. So this is something I believe first time the Marico has done thing. I don't know if even in future they will allow non-ranker Big Four to participate. So first thing obviously is it's a rank. Secondly, to improve business acumen, okay, it's very important to have a great knowledge of business, of FMCG particularly because they kind of test a lot in the business acumen itself. And I think third will be to have that sheer determination, okay, to have the kind of belief in ourselves that, yeah, this is something which I want. And although there will be a strong competition of, again, 150, 200, whatever the number of participants will be, but with that such a strong determination and will, I will surely get into it. So that's what I think it's required.
Shubham, what would your last words of advice be?
So as we started this interview, Rushabh discussed about, I think Manan also told that 225 people actually applied for this job and only 4 got into it. So that means, and as Manan also told, that the motto of the company is make a difference. So you need to actually make some difference. You actually need to make them realize that you are actually different from that whole lot which is applying for this job. And I actually did something different during one of my final rounds, and I'm not sure how it actually went with the interviewers and all. But yeah, I did something different. I can't disclose it at this type of platform, even at any other platform also, because that was something unique to me, unique to my experience. So that's a hint, actually. You can do something in that direction. And as Anirudh told that I also have a YouTube channel and I'm also trying to help out the fraternity in that direction. So I have actually got the series Ab Aur Kya. So not actually promoting that series, but actually bringing out that impact that even after clearing your CA finals, even with an all India rank, the journey is not easy. You need to continually make your efforts. And again, those efforts are only useful when they are made in the right direction. So I really feel great that Anirudh and his whole team, the way they are working, even I'm getting a lot of support from my friends, the way we are proceeding in this direction. And I really feel that the way we are trying to guide you, if you are actually make your efforts in that direction, it will be really helpful for you and you will be able to achieve good results. So thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you, Shubham. Manan, is there anything that you would like to tell our viewers?
Yeah, so if you don't mind, can I tell a small story for my
You
last
can.
tip?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so there's a small incident which we have read in the book of 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, where they have mentioned that there was a father who boarded a train with 2 kids. And once the train started, these 2 kids were actually disturbing all the passengers. They started pulling the papers, they started throwing bottles, they started running here and there in the train, and passengers were actually really disturbed. So after maybe 15 to 20 minutes, one of the passenger came to that father and told that, why can't you control your kids? They are actually disturbing our journey. And at that time, father told that currently we are coming from an hospital, and just 1 hour ago, the mom of these two kids have died. I don't know how should I inform them. And currently I am not able to sink in that. After these two lines, kids were the same. They were still disturbing the crowd. They were still pulling and throwing bottles and papers. They were still running in the train. But the perspective of passengers changed. They started calling them. They started playing with them. They started giving them chocolates. So I would like to tell you all that understand the why of what you are doing. Even if I think that most of the viewers will be students. So understand why you are pursuing a particular course. Understand why you want a particular job. Understand what you want to do in your life. So once you understand the why, once you understand the perspective, you will have that self-belief in yourself. And after you have that self-belief, you have to give 100% hard work. So first is having the self-belief, and second is giving your 110%, that is hard work. And the last and most important thing is have faith in God. If things work out as you wanted, it is God's grace. And if things don't work out as you wanted, it is God's wish. So if you work in this direction, then even students will excel in life, and even the professionals will excel in life. So all the best to the viewers, and I wish you all the very best for your future endeavors.
Thank you so much, Manan. That was a deeply touching story, and it also made our viewers understand to also understand why someone is pursuing a particular course, which is very important in today's times because of so much competition as well. I'd also like to take out and thank all of you for taking out time and again gracing this platform. Thank you so much.
So
Thank
I
you,
would
Anirudh.
also
Thank
like
you
to
for
thank Anirudh, and I would
yeah.
surely tell the viewers that Three of a
Correct.
Kind channel, these three people, we met them in our MDP program, that is Management Development Program, and we all have become really good friends. And I would surely tell you all to subscribe this channel, like this video, and stay tuned with the channel for all the upcoming insightful videos. Thank you
Thanks,
so much,
Manan.
Anirudh.
Thank you, Anirudh. Thank you very